Good morning to you. Good afternoon there. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Mayegun Live. Again, welcome back. And thank you so much for joining me. If this is your first time of joining Mayegun today, or if it is the first time ever of watching Mayegun as well, like this, share it. After reading the caption of the broadcast, the description of the broadcast, like it, share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Tell all of them that Mayegun today. And yes, Facebook. And yes, it is going to be an interesting night, or evening, or maybe morning, or afternoon. Depends on the time you are joining us. Just make sure that you kind of read the description of the broadcast in detail. There lies in the whole purpose of this chat. Beyond the description, I said. Remember, Mr. Integrity, the Integrity Group of the House of Representatives of Nigeria, 12 years ago. That was when the conversation around subsidy removal began. I don't know what your age is or was back then, but that was 12 years ago. I am going to take you through the memory lane this evening. Yes. Today. So good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you. From wherever you are joining us. This is Mayegun Live. 12 years ago, Goodluck Jolantan declared a move that could have saved Nigeria from economic destruction, because some selected few of people were milking the country. Not just that, they were defrauding the country. They were known as oil marketers in Nigeria. At the time, majority of Nigerians didn't know what was called a subsidy until Goodluck Jolantan decided to remove it from the budget of the country. He didn't just make the announcement of removing it. Okay, he also declared what was then known as palliatives to cushion the effects of the removal. A liter of petroleum was going to go up to 125 naira per liter from 87 naira per liter. And those who were milking the country at the time, they were known as oil subsidy scammers. These guys, top on the list was Femi Otedola, DJ Copy's father, as well as the current governor of Ogun State, and few others though. However, that did not go down well with Tifnumbu, who happened to be at the time the leader of the opposition, the local champion from Lagos. He was able to rally round the other civil society group in Nigeria to reject the removal of the subsidy. According to them, remove corruption, don't remove subsidy. The likes of Sandpaper, Femi Falana, right, and others like that actually championed this Tifnumbu's masked, sponsored protest at the time. They championed it, they fronted it, and then called Goodluck Jonathan names behind it. Jonathan believed then that the people who have sponsored the protest against his government in rejecting the subsidy removal, they were actually the oil marketers that should be in jail. So in the process, they forced the hand of Jonathan, which eventually had to leave the subsidy on. According to Jonathan, the subsidy had to go because this was just feeding just few people who were just taking advantage of the country at the time, when they would take the money, the subsidy money, and only for them to now, divert the same fuel the government of Nigeria subsidized. They will be diverted to the neighboring country, where they will go and make a kill, like sell it at the double the price of the imported price, the landing cost at the time. Then came the National Assembly, the integrity group of the House of Representatives, led by this guy, Farouq Lawal. They were to probe the subsidy payments in the last 3 years of Goodluck Jonathan, starting from, at the time, they said they were starting from 2010 to 2012. Femi Otedola, the ringleader at the time, was supposed to be probed enough where he would have to give accounts of how much he himself and his company had drawn from the Nigerian purse, and how much of that fuel he genuinely, legitimately delivered to Nigeria. So what did he do? He decided to approach the leader of the integrity group, Farouq Lawal, and said, listen, guy, I know you're just doing your job, right? Well, I have here $500,000 cash, $500,000 cash for you to let go of that investigation and clear me. Or if you are able to do that, I want you to know that you and your colleagues, there is a $3 million cash for you. Farouq Lawal, upon hearing that, jumped at it and started a plan of how the money will be paid to him, the bribe, and they were going to remove Otedola's name from the subsidy scammers in Nigeria. He didn't know that the same Otedola was going to use him as a sacrificial lamb to not only to scuttle the entire investigation, but to discredit the House of Representatives investigating him and his colleagues. So they set it in motion. The bribe collection, the payment, and all the plan of how to exonerate. Femi Otedola did not deny that he is a subsidy scammer. That is one of those that were actually milking Nigeria. But he just wanted to show to us then that those investigating them were also criminals too. That's, it's pretty much like thieves investigating thieves. And he has proof. Indeed, Farouq Lawal, a very outspoken, loudmouth at the time, jumped at it. And the journey began. The journey that will later see him to become a convicted felon in Nigeria. Let's go to that 12 years ago when this whole thing started. Here, ladies and gentlemen, a bit back.
But I won't discuss it with them. You're the only person I'm dealing with.
No.
What are you going to do tomorrow? You handle it. Thank you, Daniel. I'll also apart for this thing. What you don't know anything about is very what I've gone through.
Don't worry about that. Okay. We'll sort it out.
Okay, so that's the next one. But that may not be the okay. So that's the exam. The door upstairs because the rest of it. Has he put you under a lot of pressure?
No, I'm under that.
Well. So how are you going to do it tomorrow now? Tomorrow now, are you going to apologize?
Don't worry. Just allow me. Just allow me. I'm used to the house. Allow me.
So this is 400,000 now.
Okay.
So the balance will be 2.5, no, 2.5 million.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay, this one is how much?
This 250,000.
Okay, so I don't want to
250.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I've arranged I have to cut a plane. I have to cut a plane.
You have to.
I have to cut a plane now to bring the 2.5 tomorrow.
Okay.
Why do you take up down? Because it will be 2.5 to take up here.
No, it's okay. Once, would you be in town?
Yes.
Okay, just call me when it comes.
But to carry it, I don't want them to see you.
I'll tell you where we should bring it.
Okay.
We'll just arrange a rendezvous.
Okay.
And then at that place we need to go.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we just
Okay. This one went, I just
what are we?
But you was not there. Yeah.
I will finish the meeting and I will down the line and ask you then and this person to you. I told you to apologize, that's what I told you. You will manage it, you agree. Who is going to talk? Falake will also speak on the same matter. So by the time two of them are through, or this man who I did this AMD, I tell you, because I didn't come. It's not coming. It's good because of the fact. That's what the simple was good. There's nothing to do with the boy. It is for the boy. It was good the day we are here now. As I've taken it up, this candy box, or this thing will have to be that mistake is very tough. But so far, it's better than the money. It's better than our people that come. The way they spoke, I know when they will always, the case that they never refuse, we cannot, that's what we do. We have another business. Trying about
Let me save you the rest, okay? The rest is just how the balance was to be paid. So let me give you the other back story. So Femi Otedola told them that he had cash, but they just have to make sure they remove the name of his company, the Fort Oil. They remove it from the investigation of the National Assembly. And that was going to cost a $3 million bribe. But to start with, there's an immediate $500,000 cash. And indeed, on the floor of the Nigerian House of Representatives, Farouq Lawal took the front, and they got the name of Femi Otedola out of the list of the subsidy scammers. Again, remember, Femi Otedola did not kind of dispute that is one of the subsidy scammers, that ordinarily if Jonathan had his way, Otedola would be in prison too. That guy that later became the Ogun State governor, Dubious Dapo, he will also be in jail. Because you know what they were doing? Nigeria was paying them hundreds of billions of naira. And this was the deal. Then Nigeria was still producing or refining our own crude oil. Port Harcourt refinery was working. Warri refinery was working, but they are not working at the full capacity according to the NNPC then. Nigeria needed to import some more in order to balance the demand in the country. That was where these oil marketers came in. They were given licenses to import fuel to Nigeria. And these licenses gave them the chance to possibly go anywhere in the world, just bring the refined product to Nigeria. And because the Nigerian government wanted to maintain what the price of petroleum would be, so they were paying subsidy on it. For example, when these marketers bring their fuel to Nigeria, a liter of fuel was sold for 67 naira. No, sorry, yeah, 67 naira back then. So, meanwhile, they said the landing cost was about 120 naira per liter. So, government that didn't want to look bad would then pay them the difference. And they will say, you know what, you are going to sell it for 67 naira, okay? 65 naira, I think it was 65 naira, because when Goodluck, Jolantan, and Yaradua came to power, a liter of petroleum was somewhere around 87 naira per liter. And Obasanjo increased it then. So when Yaradua came, he reduced it to 65 naira per liter. That is why some people will tell you Yaradua is the best. He's the only president. Because when Obasanjo increased the liter of petroleum then, it was around the 45 naira or, okay, let's roll it back so that you can understand this better, okay? In 1999, a liter of petroleum was sold for 11 naira or thereabout. Within 2 years, Obasanjo increased it to 25 naira per liter. And within 8 years of Obasanjo, a liter of petroleum has jumped to 85 or 87 naira per liter. So when Yaradua came, the first thing he did was to reduce the price of petroleum by cutting it down to 65 naira per liter. So within 2 years, meanwhile, they were paying subsidy. So within 2 years, that after Yaradua died, Jonathan has increased it back to somewhere around 87 naira per liter. They were paying subsidy. So the oil marketers who are bringing the fuel in, they were kind of relying on the government subsidy money. So instead of them selling a liter for 125 naira per liter, Jonathan was paying the difference and say, you know what, go and sell it for 87 naira per liter. So when Jonathan now realized that, wait, the amount of fuel that the Nigerians are consuming now seems to have doubled, almost tripled. Before, we were paying, I'm just giving you an example now, like we're paying for 45 million liters. But now we are paying for nearly 90 million liters of petrol. How come? That was when he felt like, you know what, this country can't sustain this. So they now told him that the real deal is that they are inflating the figure. No, put it this way. Let's say from 25 million per liter. 25 million liters. So suddenly Nigeria was like spending on about 70 million liters. So it's more than doubled. And so was the subsidy. Nigeria used to pay somewhere between 70 billion and 100 billion every year for subsidy. But within 2 years, Nigeria started paying over 200 billion. nearly 300 billion on subsidy every year. If you divide it to, that simply means like Nigeria was paying somewhere between 20-25 billion on subsidy every month. So they now discovered that it is a racket going on between these marketers and the NNPC guys. So Jonathan now sort of told everybody that, you know what, let them go and sell the fuel for whatever price they want to sell it. NNPC can still maintain the 87 naira per liter. Any other private independent marketer that want to sell his own for 100 naira, 200 naira per liter, go and sell if people are going to buy from you. But instead of us paying you that subsidy money, okay, we use that money on improving the transportation system, like they will use the money for something else that people actually pay for. So that instead of giving the money to the oil marketers, right, it will go straight into the economy. That was their plan, because they figured out that not only were they have inflated the figure of the consumption, the fuel consumption in Nigeria, in their corruption. That fuel, Gogon self, they are not even selling it in Nigeria. So what were they doing? Neighboring countries, they are not paying subsidy on petrol. Only Nigeria. So what were they doing? They would just, once they get paid, they would just turn the vessel straight to Cameroon. Turn the vessel straight to all of this. I think it was 11 naira. I remember that was how much Obasanjo met it to, 11 naira per liter. So the corruption was so deep that Jonathan was demanding for the refund of the billions of naira paid to these guys. This is what prompted this bribery. It wasn't only that I won't pay the subsidy anymore. All the money we have paid you, you are going to pay them back, or you're going to go to jail for this corruption. That was where Tifnumbu and his gang took charge and politicized it. Turned Jonathan to a monster, an evil man, Nebuchadnezzar, Confessor Soyinka and the rest of them. They pounced on him. The media pounced on him. And these guys were doing everything to make sure that the whole thing is buried or scuttled. So they succeeded. The integrity chairman has been indicted. Femi Otedola released the video to the media. Look at the people probing us. They are already asking us for bribe. They are not genuine. Protest was already going on in Nigeria. And before you know it, they just ordered the arrest of Farouq Lawal, the arrowhead. Femi Otedola didn't say it was the one who offered him money. He said they were demanding money from him to take his name out of the list. That was how the investigation on the fuel subsidy under Goodluck Jolantan, that was how it all died. The bribe taker, the bribe giver, the subsidy scammers, they all escaped scrutiny. And Farouq Lawal took the fall. So today, he was released from prison. This was his picture before and after. So this was Farouq Lawal before going to prison. And this is Farouq Lawal coming out of prison today. I think I had a clip of him earlier. I still do. And 5 years ago, he's been in court since 2013 or so. He's been in court. He has appealed, he was convicted, he appealed and all of that until 5 years ago, 2019, when his appeal at the Supreme Court or so failed, and he was going to go to jail for 5 years. Today, it is believed that the 5 years lapsed and he was released back to his family. Now, to some people that would say, maybe, are you sure